In today's video, I'll be talking about a new blockchain project called SUI Networks, and this is a layer one blockchain project, very similar to Ethereum, so it'll be like a direct competitor for it. But before you say that there has been so many projects which have claimed to be a Ethereum killer, and we all know that even the big ones like Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, they have tried to have their runs, but finally they have not come close to Ethereum. And so nobody knows for sure whether this would be able to rise to the level of Ethereum. Will it be able to give any serious competition to Ethereum or not? But from what I've read about the project so far, it is definitely a new interesting concept and worth checking out. So in this video, I'll be covering what is so special and unique about SUI that you should definitely try it out. And also, I'll be talking about that since they are currently in the process of testing, they have their testnet functional, and soon they would be moving to mainnet. They've already started talking about their tokenomics, and so which basically means that once they launch their mainnet, they would definitely conduct some sort of airdrop. And as most of their projects which are on a similar model, they would definitely reward the people who have been actively using the testnet as well as the mainnet. So let's start with what exactly is so special about SUI and what makes it different than all the other layer 1 blockchain projects. So first thing is that if I compare it to Ethereum and most of the blockchain projects which are currently running, this is not built upon solidity. SUI is built upon a programming language called Move, which is supposed to be an enhancement of Solidity to overcome the shortcomings which were there in Solidity. And if we compare what would be the main difference when compared to blockchains like Ethereum, the main selling point which SUI is pitching is that it would reduce the transaction time, making the network much faster. I'm sure most of you would be thinking that that is the basic proposal by all the blockchains, and after they get a higher number of user base, they are not able to go beyond a particular level. But in this case, this might be able to manage it because what happens is, like as we've seen with Solana or Polygon, once their user base goes beyond a particular limit, they are not able to sustain it and the network slow down and at times even crashes. But SUI is built upon a model where it does not treat the transactions into sequential blocks, and it allows for parallel processing in the transactions. That's why it is possible to conduct several transactions in parallel without creating any bottlenecks through a sequential processing. And the other thing which SUI has got different compared to the other standard blockchains is that it is already focused towards the Web3 community, and one of the major propositions in its white paper is the due consideration which will be given for NFT projects and NFT marketplace. And they have a lot of mechanisms built in to facilitate the transfer and trading of NFTs. And now let's look at what you can do to get involved with the SUI project and how to increase your eligibility so you're able to get a higher allocation for the airdrop which happens. SUI project has already announced that their native token will be called SUI, and this is the token which is being supplied on their testnet also for testing purposes. They have already mentioned the supply would be capped at about 10 billion tokens. They have not mentioned as such what percentage of this would be reserved for airdrop, but looking at the recent airdrops, I think most of the communities are using a significant part to ensure that their regular users are rewarded well. So the first step I think which I would recommend you is to go through their site, get to understand the system. If you get the time, at least have a look at the white paper. And then I would suggest you to join their Discord because in their Discord you will find which are the latest news, what's happening with the project. For example, they just announced yesterday that they will be moving from a DevNet to a permanent testnet. So the difference here would be that in DevNet, where they would continuously keep refreshing their data and erasing, and sometimes whatever transactions you have done, they might not get recorded. So there is a chance that when they take a snapshot later, some of the activities you have done will not be counted towards the airdrop. So it's more important that once the permanent testnet is launched, you perform some activities and transactions there as well, because as the name suggests, it would be a permanent testnet. So the activities and transactions you do on it will not get erased and will be considered for the snapshot, which would take place at some later time. And now, uh, another feature which I'd like to highlight for SUI as is that it does not operate through MetaMask, which you normally access for most of the projects or the new layer 2 projects which are coming up. It has its own native wallet called SUI wallet, and it can be used as a extension on your browser. So for example, I'm using it for Chrome now, and here I'll just give you a quick walkthrough on what all features are already available in the current DevNet version. So you could see here that the wallet homepage itself has a mechanism for staking the tokens. So you can select different validators which are available, and you can start staking the testnet tokens which you have received. And this would be an important feature for the project because it's built upon POS, which is proof of stake. So we'll have to wait to see what will be the rewards and whether it would depend on the number of users who are staking. But I think this would be one of the projects. It would be good to get a decent amount of airdrop tokens because I'm planning to stake them later, because I think for this project the staking rewards will be quite good. And the other thing is, like I mentioned, that the key focus of the project is NFT. So they right now have not collected any NFTs because they have refreshed the ones which were minted in the last DevNet cycle. But it is clear that they would keep NFTs as a prime focus for all the developments that they're doing. So when I go to the section of apps, there were in the last DevNet cycle there were two main apps which they had offered. One was called SUI Name Services, which I'll show now, and the other is called SUI Cappies. SUI Cappies was their NFT project where you could mint the cappies which were built on the theme of capybaras, and they had put a feature where if you have collected a couple of Cappy NFTs, you could breed them to create new Cappies with new traits and features. But when I go to the SUI Cappies homepage, I can see that as it's expected from our testnet that they do undergo maintenance cycle. So currently it's down, but you should check it regularly that once it comes active, especially once the permanent testnet is on, you should try to mint a couple of NFTs because that would definitely count towards your activity for the airdrop. The next activity you should definitely do is go to the homepage for SUI name services, which is very similar to what ENS is for Ethereum for registering domains. And here you can search for whichever domain name you want to register. For example, if I search for SAMBTC, then I'll see that SAMBTC.sui is already taken because this I just minted some time back. And but they have given two options for the domains .sui and .move, and I can register .move by paying a small amount of SUI tokens. So I would definitely recommend you to start interacting with the SUI network, especially as soon as the permanent testnet comes up, and you could have a look at what are the features available in the SUI wallet, try to register a couple of domain names, mint a few NFTs on the SUI network, and there clearly is no date announced as of now when their mainnet would be launched, but I think they would launch their native token as soon as their mainnet is ready. So it would definitely be useful to complete your transactions before this mainnet get launched, which I think would be in a couple of months from now. I hope you found the video useful. Do let me know which other projects you would like me to cover. Thank you.